Hey, this is Russ. We are back out on the bike path. Yeah. The whole thing with the bike path is it's a little bit easier. You don't have to think too much about things. You can ride and not worry about cars hitting you. You do have to worry about people though. Sometimes people get in the way, dogs get in the way. Some people are easier to deal with, others are not. I've hit some of them with the bell and they don't move. I've said on your left and they don't move. So they'll just eat up the entire pathway. So the only thing you can really do is jump up onto the grass and pass them that way. So we got a skateboarder here. On your left. Thank you. So typically you would announce that you're coming up to them, let them know that you're passing on the left-hand side, or hit them with the bell, whichever, let them know that you're there. So today it's going to rain, so it's very overcast right now. Every time we have an overcast day, the visuals that you see of me don't really look that good. I always look like I'm in the shade. Technically, we are in the shade because there's really no direct sun out here. Either way, I still like wearing my sunglasses. Just a little bit easier on the eyes. Morning. Most people are pretty easy to deal with on the bike path. Others, not so much. Like I said, sometimes they don't move out of your way. They know you're coming. I know that they know that you're coming, but they don't move. And a couple times I've been forced up onto the grass because of that. So, on your left. Alright, so at this point, the path ends. So I think what we're going to do is we'll swing around it and catch it back up again. So we're going to go up on the street here. And I believe... car here. Let's turn here. I think if we swing back around, we'll probably catch back onto the bike path. We'll head in the opposite direction. Now in the past, I would just turn my bike around. I find that that's actually harder to do than it is to just get off the bike path altogether, ride the street a little bit, just swing around it, come back onto it. So let's see if we're right here. Question is which street? I'm gonna guess this one. The next available right that we can make, I think, is probably the best way to do it. Yeah, it's a lot easier early in the mornings. Not a lot of traffic to deal with. Less people around as well. Let's talk about something else. I want to talk about using your bike to replace your car. All right, because we hear this a lot. Is it really possible? You know, if you're just going to get from point A to point B, I guess it could be possible. But the problem is if you're going to use it to replace your car to, go grocery shopping or do other errands, I think the biggest issue really is leaving your bike. If you have to, let's turn here. Hold on. I don't know if this one cuts through. This one angles. Yeah, I don't think this one cuts through. Yeah, whatever. It's leaving your bike and locking it up, okay? Locking it up is always the hardest thing because you never know if you're going to come back and it'll still be there. It could be gone by the time you get back. Okay, this street just curves around. Okay, I see where the path is. It's over to the right there, but this is swinging us around. All right, well, I know in the future, don't turn on that street. So anyways, if it wasn't for the issue of bike theft, I think you could probably use your bike as a replacement for your car. And if you didn't have to deal with cars running you over, then yeah, maybe that's possible. All right, so now we see the sign is a bike path. Yeah, I guess you could. You just have to swing around. All right, let's turn here. So it is possible to be done. It's just dealing with those two issues, I think. Is you don't want your bike stolen. You don't. You want to contend with cars on the road. That's always the issues, really. I think that's the biggest issues. It is tiring, though. I know my wife and I, sometimes we go grocery shopping on Saturdays or Sundays. She'll ride her bike, I'll ride my bike. I watch the bikes while she goes in and shops, and then I transport everything back because I have a basket on my bike and she doesn't. But the problem with that is you need two people then. You can't really do it on your own. So, I mean, you could just lock your bike up, but again, like I said, who knows? Morning. Who knows what would happen? Will your bike still be there when you get back? That's always the question. So yeah, today is it's a major overcast day because it will rain today. I think it's pretty much guaranteed it's going to happen. Things are always blowing in my eyes. It's about 70 degrees out with a little bit of wind, so you can probably hear the wind on the microphone. You know, this Shure lavalier mic, it's too bad they discontinued it because it really, I think, does a lot better job than many other microphones in dealing with wind noise. I mean, there's a big foam ball. If you take a look on my helmet, on the top of my helmet there, you'll see the little windscreen there. But that little round ball really cuts down that wind noise like crazy. And because it is on the helmet, it's pretty consistent. You know, no matter how I turn my head and talk, I'm not losing any of the audio. Volume levels pretty much stay the same. I think this particular mic that I'm using, they use in theater work too. They hide it in their hair. Like if you're going to like a play or something like that and their microphone is on people, they'll stick it in their hair and stuff. On your left. And so, I don't know why they discontinued it. It's actually a pretty good mic. It's very small. The only thing that's big about it is the windscreen. But you need that because of what we're using it for. Morning. Some people say hi to you, some people don't. Okay. Overall, I've been pretty happy with the way the sound comes out with this mic. I have two of them actually. I bought a second one in case I ever needed to do interviews with people. I could mic them up. The only problem is that this lavalier mic is a little more sophisticated. There's a transformer that I clipped to my belt in the back. And that's where my digital recorder is too. It's wired up in the back behind me. So I have to turn on 3 things whenever I'm recording. I turn on the cell phone so that you can see me. I turn on the forward-facing camera, the Canon camera, and then I also turn on the digital recorder that's in my back. And then every 16 minutes, we got to restart everything because the Canon camera won't go past 16 minutes of recording time for video, which means we'll be stopping in a bit. I did a review of my new Bikeroo bike seat. That's probably the last video you saw. And I would say, yeah, I'm still happy with it. It seems to ride just fine for me. You know, it doesn't have the springs. I didn't go with the one with the springs because the springs in the past have kind of failed me. So I went with the elastomers. Elastomers is a fancy way of saying rubber. Little rubber springs. I don't think rubber springs do a whole lot of anything, at least I can't tell, but the cushiness of the seat and the wideness of the seat is really what I want. So yeah, the Bikeroo and the Cloud 9 seats or saddles are the 2 most popular aftermarket ones that a lot of people with these bikes will buy. Okay, so we're gonna hop off over here. And we'll walk across the sidewalk. Good morning. The construction crews are still working. Back up on the bike. All right, we are back. So we got to deal with this dog here. Tight squeeze. Tight squeeze, but we made it. All right, we're gonna go under the tunnel again. You know, this tunnel is pretty interesting. If you take a look, just look to the left and the right, you'll see the murals that were done here. One side is an eyeball, and the other sides are bike riders. What does that mean? We see you biking? I don't get it. Interesting. I don't know whose idea was to draw that. Okay, so we don't know what time it's going to rain, but I think it's going to rain around 9, something like that. So we have time. I don't think we'll be caught in the rain. Brakes are a little squeaky today. Yeah, I don't know when bicycles went off to disc brakes. You know, it's been so long since I've ridden a bike. It's probably close to 20 years. And back then, you know, brakes were done on the rim of the tire. We either had center pull brakes or side pull brakes. Now there's trends, I guess. There's trends. I know that when I was growing up, center pull brakes were in high favor. You know, you pull on the cable and the brake on the left and the right pull in evenly because it's pulling on a cable right in the middle. But then all of a sudden, and side pull brakes were never considered very much. They were considered cheaper. Then I think later on, it was always side pull brakes that people liked. I don't know why that is. Now it's disc brakes. And there's two types of disc brakes. There's the standard mechanical disc brakes, which is what I have on this bike, and then there's the hydraulic brakes. Okay, the hydraulic brakes are easier to pull. You don't have to pull on the handle as much, and it's more stopping power. So the better bikes will have the hydraulic brakes on there. And I think the reason a lot of them, let's not do let's just do it. I was thinking, should we do the forest preserve or not? Let's do it. Some of the bikes will use the mechanical brakes just to keep the cost down of the bike. That's why I think Rad Power Bikes does it. Because people have always said that, why don't they give us the better brakes? Well, then the cost of the bike would be higher. So if they're trying to keep the cost down so more people can buy the bike in the first place, they're going to go with the mechanical disc brakes. But, because it's of the rain issue, I kept thinking, are the disc brakes better in the rain compared to the rim brakes? Because the rim brakes, if you're riding through water, let's say, okay, you're getting splashed on there, brakes don't work too good when it's all wet on the rim. And the disc brakes, they're closer to the center of the hub of the tire. So I would tend to think the disc brakes might do better in rainy weather. It's just my thought. I don't know. I have no clue. It's been so long since I've been on bikes. I will say this though. Since the initial purchase of the bike, I am getting better riding it. I'm more confident riding it. And because of that, I'm able to go to farther places. Right? Because I can go on the streets now and feel more comfortable being on the street with the cars because I am more comfortable on the bike. I will also say, too, that this bike, being as big as it is, not all of the e-bikes are this large, but this one is pretty big. Your center of gravity is different. Like, even when I changed the seat, the Bikeroo seat, because that seat is slightly bigger and was taller by maybe, inch and a half maybe, I don't know. All of a sudden, I felt a little more wobbly on it because I'm higher up. So lowering that stem made it a little bit easier to deal with. Morning. All right, sometimes I'll use the bell, sometimes I'll just say on your left. And we will stop here. And we can cross. And of course I know that she can't hear me because she's got earphones on. And the way I knew that is because I could actually hear the music outside of her earphones. So she's got it on pretty loud. Not too safe. Not safe for her, that is. So yeah, getting used to riding these bikes is a big deal. It does take a while. You might be able to ride the bike, but to ride confidently and to ride without falling, that's the key. So yeah, we've been taking this forest preserve more because I've been avoiding the other one because I know that there's still the construction going on, and to get to that other one you got to go through the construction. And I mentioned last time, eventually they are going to be repaving the street, so they're going to have a lot of the asphalt stuff going on. And then, of course, before they do that, they usually oil the street first. I don't want that stuff splattering all over the bottom of the bike or into the fenders. So I'm trying my best to avoid that area until they finally finish the street. The thing is they always rip apart the streets and then they don't fix it for weeks on end, because they just go up and down the streets, get it all prepared, and then they do all of it at one time. But of course that leaves the streets all hacked up until that time. They say here in Chicago, summertime is the time for repairs, street repairs. It's true. It's almost everywhere you go, there's some type of street repair going on, fixing the potholes that happened over the winter months and things. It's just the weather and the way all the cars go through it. It's going to affect it. Somebody asked me too how the condition of my tires were in. I think it was John who asked us that. And I would say that the condition of the tires are pretty good. I have 777 miles as of right now on the bike, and the tires still seem pretty decent. The little knobby things on the tires are still there. It hasn't worn out. I know some people report that they had to change their original tires after about 500 miles. I don't know what these guys do. I think they must be doing off-roading or something. And so it puts more of a strain on those tires. I ride mostly paved paths, and I don't ride hard per se. I'm not making hard turns and things like that. So I don't seem to have that problem. Things are flying in the eyes again. All right, we're gonna have to lower our gears here and throttle up, because we're gonna go up this hill. This is the hardest hill to ride. I'm now on full throttle, and then my pedaling is on, I think, a 3 or a 4, something like that. You see, it's hard to even get up this hill. You see how slow we're doing, but we're still steadily going. I'm not straining or anything like that. And then I could increase my gears again. Yeah, I've seen people really suffer going up this hill. Anyways, I appreciate you guys always coming along with me on the ride. I know a lot of the paths we go are the same ones over and over, but we do get to talk and we get to discuss different things. And taking you guys along with me is always more interesting than just riding by myself, because then I have somebody to talk to, and it's like riding with a buddy. Here or that is like talking to yourself, whatever. I prefer talking rather than just being quiet and riding by myself. Oh, let me play you some music. I know I've never played the music before. I think if we play it for a very short time, it won't have an issue here. Because you guys are always probably wondering, does that Bluetooth speaker thing really work? So. So yeah, it does work. That was me on all the instruments, by the way. That was a snippet of some of the music that I do. So, anyways, I did feel my first drop of rain or something, so I think we'll have to turn around and then head back. Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to rain until about 9 o'clock. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll come early. We'll get to the end and I'll say my goodbyes here. We're at the end. Anyways, I appreciate you guys coming along, and I will talk to you guys next time.